crazy. String me along.
Okay, I've got some questions about this song that we're going to go through. The first one is how the idea came about, which I can start that off because it was my first write at Smack. Really, it was one of my first like major writes with people that I like felt like were really doing it. So the week before, I was at Classy Joint, Florida Georgia Line house, and I was talking to a girl, and it was going well. And so I asked her to see her again, and she was like, "Well, I just have to be honest. I don't want to lead you on." And one of the first, kind of thoughts was like, "Man, I kind of wish you would." And then so it brought the idea lead me on into you guys, and then we kind of ran with it from there. But I remember this right a lot, especially because it was my first. So do you guys have any sort of perspective on when you heard that title and like if you wanted to write it or anything like that?
I'll say that what's interesting about titles and ideas is they seem to circulate in like a similar area or timeline, because after we wrote this song Lead Me On, I had a co-writer throw that title out the very next week, and I was like, man, I just wrote that song, I can't do it. So
yeah, I remember like saying that and you guys being up for writing it, which that was such a huge write for me. I know all you guys now and we're all buds, but at the time I was like really nervous, and I just signed with Monument. So, the last thing I wanted to do is throw some stupid title out and you guys laugh at me, which I do that every day now. I feel like that's part of my job, is just throwing stupid titles out. But luckily we wrote that one and it came to life. All right. So I guess I'll go around Matt first on this one. Is there any line that sticks out to you about the song?
I love the pre-chorus. I was obsessing about the pre-chorus pretty much the whole write, making sure it got right. But I'm just drawn to that, just the flip in the melody and just how it kind of sets up the chorus. I care about the whole thing, but that was the one that I was like, this has to be perfect.
Well, that probably would have been mine as well. There's something special about that moment of the song for sure. I like that we put Rosé in the song, because I think that was like Rosé was showing up everywhere in my life at the moment too. Like every girl I knew was drinking it.
Also, Ryan Beaver was drinking it.
And Ryan Beaver's favorite beverage as well. He's a Rosé man.
Yeah, it's true. Secret's out.
That's awesome. Ryan, any line special to you about it?
I mean, I'm with you guys. The pre is awesome. It's infectious. I love how we hook the song. I guess it's a bookend type chorus, but I love that we flip it a little bit. So
yeah, that's what I would go with, is just how the chorus kind of hits different on both ends. Awesome. All right. Did you guys know the day of that was a special song? I would say for me, it was like I said, the first time I really wrote with, what I considered prose. And so I was just like, oh, I guess this is just how it's done. I go take a title to these guys, and there it is. We've got it, a great song. And I walked out being like, that felt special. This is going to be awesome, right? And, if I get a chance. I didn't even have my deal with Smack yet. I just thought to myself, like, this is going to be sweet. And I didn't realize how special that day was until I wrote about 100 more songs and realized that one was still really special. But I guess the question is, did you guys know right away that it was something?
I mean, I feel like I always walk out of the room and think I did my job that day or I didn't. I mean, that's all I ever know. This was definitely a day where I thought we did our job. It's a great song.
Yeah. Aaron? Matt? Go ahead.
I struggle day up to know, but I either feel good or bad. And there's not really that's great or that sucks. It's just kind of I walk out being like, all right, I don't hate myself, or I walk out being like, I hate myself. And I definitely, I didn't hate myself that day, which was nice. Thank you all for that. But the other thing is I hate working on tracks. And I had a really fun time making that track. So I knew that like something, I knew it was cool just because having Beaver sing the background vocals and then Aaron play some guitar, it was fun to work on.
I think that that helps me a lot understanding that first 6 months because you crushed the demo. So immediately I was like, oh, Matt does demos.
Sure don't. Yeah, I sure don't.
I was like, oh, that's my guy right there.
Nope,
He's
you're not.
demos. And then it took me about 6 months after that to learn he hates doing demos.
So I would much rather someone else do it, and I would just write some words over top of it.
That's hilarious. That's funny that I'm like just now realizing that that's how that went down. Yeah.
Such a waste of talent.
Aaron, any thoughts for you?
Yeah, I would say that I had a lot of fun writing that song and playing it while we were making the demo and while we were writing it. I just knew that, because it felt good, kind of like what Beaver said, we'd done our jobs, and if it didn't work out to be your song, then it wasn't because it wasn't good enough. And it's kind of cool walking out of the room feeling that way because you never know for sure, but that day I knew that it felt like something special. We had a lot of fun making it.
That's awesome. So just that, like for me, a specific memory I have was like, everything was so fresh for me at that point. Like I hadn't, written a song that I thought was awesome and had my heart broken, been told it wasn't as awesome as I thought. I was so fresh, and I was starting to have some meetings with Shane, and I was throwing ideas around of songs that I'd been writing. And that one was the first time where I played it for Monument, and I saw my people starting to light up over a song. And I remember when Shane kind of lit up over it, I knew that we'd done something special. So that was like a really cool memory for me on it. I guess this goes back to like the demo to the final master. Like, did you have a certain vision for that? I feel like we kind of stuck to the demo, but just kind of amplified what that was. Was that kind of your vision for it, Matt?
Definitely. I mean, I was right the first time. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, everyone loved the demo so much that it felt foolish to kind of try to get away from that. And a lot of times that's scary and even harder because people are so attached to the demos that, they're like, they hear something new and they're like, I don't know, I don't really like this, but it's not that they don't like it. It's just, it's different. So, I think we got pretty lucky just everyone liking it and having a really good roadmap to stick to when we went in with way better players than, no offense, than me and Aaron, but like, you know what I mean? Like if Derek Wells can play your stuff, have Derek Wells play your stuff. So it was cool to have a roadmap and just be able to take it and be like, please do this better than us.
Yeah, that's exactly what I felt like happened when, it was like we had a really cool demo that had, a lot of energy, and then having Matt and Ben and Shane just take it into amazing players and saying like, we want to do this, but better. That's kind of what happened. And so cool. I guess this was like the first thing that the world ever heard from me. Up till we wrote and put Lead Me Out on, I'd been playing bar gigs for a lot of years. I was just kind of, trying to figure out my sound and who I am as an artist up to that point. And for a lot of years, I had people like telling me, put music out. And I just ignored it. Like I didn't do like the YouTube videos, which is kind of interesting because, both ways can obviously work. Matt, you work with Kane, and he kind of did the other thing. He was singing everything on his phone and doing all that. And that obviously worked. My thing was I didn't do any of that. I didn't put anything out. I wasn't really doing cover videos. I was just trying to figure out my sound. And then with Lead Me On, like to me, it felt like it was the right choice for the first song that I put out to the world. And I just was, kind of curious what you guys thought. Like, why is that such a great first song to put out? Because it really kind of changed my life. Never know what's going to happen with the song. When I was terrified when we put it out, I was like, even up to the last day, I'm like, right is right. And then, now it's got close to, 50 million streams, and it really kind of put me on the map in Nashville and even beyond. So, that's why I would say it was the right choice for me. I was curious if you guys, like, you know, having an artist that you got, like for me, you guys are all really involved in what I'm doing, and I lean on you guys, and everybody was seeming to think that was the right first one. So I was just curious what you guys' thoughts were on why it is.
Yeah, I would say that, well, for instance, I was on a run at Shelby Bottoms Greenway around the time when you put the song out, and I was listening to New Boots playlist just to check out what's happening, and I didn't realize the song was on there. And several minutes into the run, it came on, and it jumped off the playlist right away. I didn't know that. I'm not even sure if I knew that the song had, but I think that the way it was written with you and the way that it was recorded, it sounds unique to you, and it sounds original in that you're not chasing any other sound. It's kind of your own thing, and I think that's special, and I think people realize that. And I think, as Shane said, or had mentioned before, your vocal doesn't sound like it has an agenda along with it. It's just a guy singing the song, some words that he cares about, and that's really it. And I think people connect with that, and it works on this song in a special way, because it's really just kind of fun, you know, not really preachy, not really, you know, too heart-wrenching. It's just a fun song. And at the end of the day, I think, you know, people just connected with that.
Wow. Ryan?
Yeah, I think for me, you know, I just trust the people. Like, it's hard to know what the reaction of the song will be. It's probably hard to know what song to put out first for an artist, and every road is different for an artist. But I know that, like, you know, Matt's got some serious amount of time playing, writing, performing, and the same goes for Aaron, the same goes for me, and, you know, you as well, Teddy. And so I think you take the combination of that, and I mean, that's a pretty safe bet. So I knew that. That's all I did know.
I'll echo everything that everyone just said. I think that another cool thing about it was like the whole track had, kind of to echo what Aaron was saying, the whole track had grit. And like your voice is really sometimes, which is awesome, but like the tones in it also do that. Just, especially like coming across on something like you said, New Boots or something, it really, like, it did separate itself from things. And I know, like, to go to that too, it announced itself really cool, just starting with that vocal thing, and then like just a overly loud snare. It's just like, listen to me, please. And so like immediately it's announced that this sounds different than whatever you just heard the last 14 songs, which I love. But it's also, like, to echo what you were saying earlier, it's definitely scary to put out something when you have no other music put out. Like, the more content you have and the more, like, people have to listen to you, the less one specific song matters, because they can judge you on your catalog. So it's like Kenny Chesney can release a song tomorrow, and it's not going to change someone's opinion of Kenny Chesney because he has 200 songs released in the world, and they all sound like Kenny Chesney. But, like, for you to take a chance on this one, I thought it was cool, because you could have put anything out, but it's going to be your intro to the world. And, like, it's just, I don't know. It's cool to have an intro to the world. It's cool that you weren't inundated already with any kind of videos playing, or any, like, you know, demos that are on Spotify, or things that, like, probably shouldn't have gone to Spotify. It's kind of cool to just have a clean, pristine artist that you can be like, this is me. So
yeah, that's super special. It's like I'll forever be proud of the first thing I put out. Like there in 20 years, I'll look back and be like, that was still a cool moment that I got to put that song out. So anyhow, I'm glad we got to chat about
my bands from high school. Don't go do that. Like, yeah. I did not have that cool moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, who knows how things would be different if I would have, you know, put different things out first. But I got, you know, I feel like I got lucky enough to start meeting the right people that did care enough about me to give me a really great first impression to the world. And, you know, with the EP now fully out, it's my first, you know, body of work. So I you know, I'm really glad we all got to hang out, because this is kind of really the closing of a chapter of my life. And, you know, I'll always have this moment of these 5 songs, and the 3 of you were, you know, more as influential on them as anybody that, you know, I work with. So thank you guys. You know, Ryan, you inspire me. You're like kind of like my big brother. You push me to work harder and write better songs. And you know, you don't let me slide. Aaron, you're like the silent assassin. I know I can come to you for anything, but you don't say a whole lot, but I know when you speak it means a lot. And Matt, you're one of the most like brilliant minds I've ever been able to be in the room with. You're so smart with, you know, all the way from the math to it to the heart that you put in songs is awesome. So, you know, as we close this chapter and go forward, I just want to say thank you guys for believing in me and helping me write this song. And I look forward to seeing what else we do.
If you want to show up where I'm drinking, you want to put your rosé on my tab, want to give me those eyes that get me thinking that later we'll be leaving in one cab. Yeah, brush me with your hand, talk a little close, say you want to dance. When we dance, make me think that you miss me. Whisper in my ear things I wanna hear. Tell me with your lips, saying and then don't even kiss me. Leave me on, drive me crazy, string me along, mess with my head, baby. Fool me once, it felt so good. Fool me twice, I wish you would. Leave me on, leave me on. Tomorrow don't you wake up feeling guilty. I'm telling you to have your way with me. It's alright if you wanna do me wrong, if you're gonna play with my heart all night long. Won't you leave me on, drive me crazy, string me along, mess with my head, baby. Fool me once, it felt so good. Fool me twice, I wish you would. Leave me on, leave me on, girl. Say you wanna dance, when we dance, make me think that you miss me. Whisper in my ear things I wanna hear. Tell me with your lips, saying and then don't even kiss me. Won't you leave me on, drive me crazy, string me along, mess with my head, baby. Fool me once, felt so good. Fool me twice, I wish you